two dots and CL, and then you said like whichever one is bigger like controls it or something like that. I forgot what exactly you
I
said.
thought you said it was the one farthest to the left.
The one farthest towards fluorine controls it, has the bigger electronegativity. Whoever's closest to fluorine is the stronger one. The one you'd want on your tug of war team. Okay? So in B, S and O, the difference is 1.0, it's polar covalent, and O is more electronegative. It's stronger. It's the one that's controlling the electrons. In C, 2.0, ionic, bromine is more electronegative. In D, 1.2, polar covalent, chlorine is more electronegative. E, 1.9, iodine, or sorry, that's ionic, not iodine, ionic, and fluorine is more electronegative. F, 0.1, non-polar covalent, and S is more electronegative. And the last one, 0.4, polar covalent, and carbon is more electronegative. And again, I asked for the same thing I did in the opening to go more towards more covalent character. So we're going towards 0. So we start at KBr, then HF, then SiCl, then SO, and then the next two, it does not matter the order because they have the exact same number. So you can either have CH or HI. They could be flipped in the order because they're both 0.4. And then you finish with SES. Questions about the homework? Marvelous. You need your sheet that I gave you yesterday. The quiz should be easy. You should not have any trouble with this. The next quiz will be considerably harder in terms of difficulty. You won't have trouble with that either. Do what? Without looking at it. Just a thought. I don't think you're going to die because your sheet don't hurts. Take your time. You have all day. No rush. Nothing else will be done. Now, none of these are definitions. Please don't define them. Oh. What?
You were like, definitions are fair game today.
And I didn't give you any.
Sweet
So-
as well.
Huh?
I said, that was sweet.
So don't define any.
And then when we determine what type of bond you want us to use.
You must use polar covalent, non-polar covalent, ionic, and metallic. If you only write covalent for the type of bond, I will mark it wrong. Okay? Huh? I'm not going to tell you that. What's the other type of bond that you don't have labeled? Yeah.
She's good. If you want.
Let's see if it's batteries. It's possible it's batteries, it's possible it's not. Many Energizers, they're pretty old, so. Good to go.
What?
Yep, go this or the trash. All right, who's not done yet? So I got two. Y'all done? Yes. All right, fresh first to the front. All right, so aside from your notes today, you need a periodic table you can see to be able to count valence electrons. It does not matter which periodic table. Thank you. Now, if y'all did not pass that after the homework and the quiz or the opening, I do not know what else to do with y'all today. That should have been a whole bunch of hundreds. Because there was nothing on that quiz that was not in the opening. We did not go over verbatim. Was there?
No.
No. All right. So yesterday we were talking about Lewis structures. All right, and I'm going to draw the one back up here that we had in our notes. So you just have to go back to the same Lewis structure you had in your notes yesterday. So we had carbon tetrachloride. Because we need to define a couple things. Because these will be important tomorrow when we talk about geometries. All right, this right here, first of all, I have to bring all the electrons. All right, I don't think I forgot any other ones. All right, these are called lone pairs, which is what I will call them probably 95% of the time. You can call them non-bonding pairs, or you can also call them unshared pairs. Does not matter which name you call them. They are electrons not involved in bonding. Okay? Those dots can be called lone pairs, non-bonding pairs, or unshared pairs.
This pen doesn't work, so I just go-
Throw it away. If it doesn't work, get rid of it. All right. There are electrons not involved in the bonding.
Not all of the dots.
Those are any of those dots. That's correct. Anything that's drawn as a dot. It's called a lone pair, or a non-bonding pair, or an unshared pair. I will call it lone pairs most of the time. Now, that means the lines have a different name. All right, the lines are called bonding pairs and shared pairs. Okay, they're electrons involved in the bond. And again, those will be important for tomorrow when we have to do the geometries, because you will have to be able to tell me the geometry of that molecule. Our next quiz will not be tomorrow, it will be the day after. And you will have to be able to tell me the geometry of all of the molecules. I think there are 7 or 8. Yes, you will have to memorize them. I don't care if you make a Quizlet, you do flashcards, whatever way works for you, but you will have to know the geometry. As a matter of fact, let me pull that out because I need to make a copy of that chart. And I know I haven't done it yet. Pull it out so I remember to do that later. And there's nothing I can do for you except tell you that's just gross memorization. I mean, I'll explain where the geometries come from, but you will have to learn them. All right, is everybody caught up? How about now? Yes? All right. So let's say we want to draw a different one. All right. Let's say we're going to draw water. All right. What's the first step we learned yesterday?
Count the valence electrons.
Count the valence electrons. We've got H and we've got O. All right. How many H's do we have? How many O's do we have? All right. How many valence electrons does hydrogen have? It only has 1. Why do we know it only has 1? I think that was Elijah's voice I heard. It's in group 1. How many valence electrons does oxygen have? 6. Has 6. Is everybody okay with how we got 1 and how we got 6? Yes? Anybody know? Speak now if you say no. It's okay. I'll go back over it. Everybody okay with how I got this? Randy, you okay with 1 and 6? You're just sort of staring at me like, is first period over yet? Yes? Huh? Okay. So we get 2, we get 6, add it up, and we get 8. So this time, we're only putting 8 electrons in this molecule. So it's a lot less than we had with the last one with 32. Okay? So step 2 is to do what? Find the central atom. Who's going to be my central atom? Why am I picking O? There's only 1 of it. Okay? So we're going to put O in the middle. All right? Step 3.
How do we find a central atom again?
You can either use the rule, whichever element there's only 1 of, and which one do I only have 1 of,
Oh.
or whichever element is farthest left, with the exception of who? Hydrogen will never be the central atom. Okay? So I gave you an example yesterday like O, N, and F because they're all singular elements. So when you look at the periodic table, who's farthest left out of O, N, and F?
Wait,
Left?
Oh, no, left. Sorry.
That means that N will be the central atom. Okay? Whoops. Did not work out too well. All right. So O is the central atom. Step 3 says to do what? What's step 3 say? Write the remaining elements around it. Okay? So how many remaining elements do I have? I have 2 H's. So I'm going to draw 2 H's. When I drew yesterday's, I had how many CLs? I had 4 CLs, so I drew 4 around it. But today I only have how many? 2, so I'm only drawing 2 H's. Now, this wall's a linear thinker. You know, it's a downfall of mine. So I tend to draw mine in a line, okay? You don't have to draw them in a line. You can draw them like this. You can draw them like this. It doesn't matter, okay? As long as you only draw how many? 2. But I tend to draw mine in a line, okay? You draw them however you want. L-shaped, up, down, sideways. I draw them in a line. So now we have to draw how many electrons. Rule 4 says you have to draw in the number of valence electrons that you added up in step number 1. So we're drawing in how many electrons?
8.
8. Now I chose this one because hydrogen is an exception. It's one of 2 that I'm going to make you learn. Okay, hydrogen is an exception. It only gets 2 electrons. Okay? The reason for that is its configuration is 1s1. It has an S. How many electrons can go in an S sublevel?
2.
You can only have 2 electrons in an S sublevel, right? So it's never going to have dots. Okay? No dots. And no multiple. Oops, I did not mean to hit that. And no multiple bonds. Okay? It will never have double or triple bonds when we get to it. Okay? It will only ever have a single bond. Can never have dots. Are you with me on that?
So we're done with this one?
Nope. So when we draw the electrons in, are you ever going to put dots on the H?
No.
No. So see how chlorine had all these dots around it? Will H ever have dots around it? Okay, in a little while, we're going to learn to draw double bonds like this. Will H ever have 2 lines like this? No. It will only ever have a single bond like this. That's what I'm telling you. H is an exception. Can never have those things. Can only have a single bond. Okay, so when we go draw in our dots on H. All right, now we can start like I did yesterday, and I can draw dots between the H and O. But what do you know is going to happen to the dots between H and O? They're going to have a line. They're going to share. So we're just going to draw a line because you know the electrons are going to share here and here. When I draw the line, how many electrons did I just draw into my 8? I drew in 4. Each line is 2 electrons. So 2, 4. Now, who did I just say could never get dots? So where am I going to draw my remaining electrons?
On the O.
On the O, because H can't have any. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Now, does H have the 2 it's allowed? Yeah, because it has the what?
The line.
The line. Because it's H have its 2 it's allowed?
Yeah.
Yes, it has the line. They're done. Does O have 8? 2, 4, 6, 8. Do I have the 8 here that I said I had to have in step 1? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes. Now, if you had drawn yours like, and you had yours bent like this, would it be the same thing? Would it be the same thing?
Yeah.
Yes, you still have 2 single bonds. You still have 2 sets of dots. It's the exact same thing. There's nothing different about it. Do you feel okay about that? Yes? No? Okay. Do we need to do another one, or you think you got it?
Another one.
Okay. No, let's not do chlorine. We just did a chlorine. All right, so if we do ASI3. All right. What's the first thing I do?
Number of valence electrons.
Okay, so how many does AS have? How many does I have? Okay, multiply by how many?
5.
Okay, 5 electrons. Iodine has 7 electrons. So I get how many?
5 and
3 times 7 is 21. And then I add and I get,
26.
I thank God Allie's here today. 26. All right. Everybody good with that? And how'd it go? So who's my central atom, Sam? Which one do you only have one of out of this group?
Yes.
So AS is central. Okay, so we're going to put AS in the middle. All right. How many I's do I have? Zyra. So how many am I drawing around it? Okay. Doesn't matter which one we put where. I'll put them on the sides and on the top. All right. So how many electrons am I drawing in? Alana. How many electrons am I drawing in? 26. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So I've drawn in 24. Where am I going to put the 26th one?
You just do a line without an eye.
Yes. Okay, did everybody hear what Elijah said? All right, I has how many on it? See that line right there? That counts as what? So 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. All the I's have 8. Who doesn't have 8? AS. Down here on the bottom, it doesn't have anything, right? So this is where I'm going to put that. That gives me 26. So again, like we talked about yesterday, did we use all 26 that were added up here? And does everyone have 8?
Yes.
So if you've done both of those things, then you're finished. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Now, if we were taking an AP level course, the answer is no. Okay, there can be odd numbers. But for our class, the answer is no. We're going to talk about polyatomic ions in a little bit when we do these multiple bonds, and then we're going to get some odd numbers.
Have you
Okay?
ever taught AP Chem?
Mm-hmm. All right. Questions? All right. You think you can try some?
Yes.
Okay.
Ew.
And there's 5. And then we're going to talk about multiple bonds. Just a second. To what? Yeah. You owe me lunch attention. That's number 4. All right, anybody need me yet?
No.
I'm just adding my lab sheets. How about now? Anybody need me yet?
Scary.
Are we done? Need me? Where we at?
Almost done.
Almost done? Y'all feel confident about it? Y'all can put it on board?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Janiyah, what's up?
CO2.
Huh?
CO2.
What about it?
I'm confused.
Bring it here. I can stop reading this folder. What you got? Okay, so you're gonna go CL, sign CL, like that. And you're gonna put in 14 electrons. That help? Anybody else? Question? Where? We're talking about the anniversary. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the only thing you can't do is put those two dots right there. Remember what we said about H? H can only have dots.
Oh, so they're going to help it.
Yeah, so they have to go on the way. You're gonna draw CL this side, CL, and it's gonna be side by side.
Oh, okay.
So they just work around it, yep.
Oh, okay.
That
Wait,
makes sense.
so are we doing?
You and the wrinkled paper.
So wait, like CL, equals that.
Mm-hmm.
and you just draw
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Do you
Exactly.
draw the lines here?
Huh? Yeah, you'll draw a line between them. Zyra, you wanna go put the first one on the board? You're just sitting there, boom, be brave. Have confidence in you. Precious, let me see what you got. Now, Precious, Princess.
Definitely.
Wrong one.
Just
Yeah.
inside that one.
You can hit the blue arrow and go to a new board. There you go. And just draw your structure. You don't have to show us adding of electrons. Yeah. Yes. Good. How about the next one? Volunteers?
I wanna do it.
Who's, I wanna do it.
Michaela,
I do the next one.
thank you.
I just write it,
Just
write
right up there
it next
somewhere.
to it, or
Any place will fit.
oh, I made a mistake right there.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, there's no way to write that.
Doing that. Okay, you have too many chlorines. You only have how many? Okay, so you're gonna say, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We don't want 14, so we got 12. 14. Because you don't have chlorines, you've got 3, you only got 2. Alright. How are we doing on those first two, other than they look like they're bleeding together? So if we draw in a line right there. Everybody okay with those two that Zyra and Michaela drew in? We got those two right? Yes? Alright. How about Xavier? You feel like you want to do the third one? I guess. I don't want you to be too brave now. You can just hit a new board if there's not enough space. Hit the blue arrow. There you go. Now you got space. Everybody feel okay about that one? Yes?
Yeah.
All right. How about the next one? How about Trevor? You good about this one? Okay. Okay. Do me a favor, take that thing down and put it by the computer. All right, everybody feel okay about NH3? 3 lines, a dot, 2 dots on N, and no dots on the H's. Feel okay about that one? All right, we're gonna go draw CL2. All right, so you had 14 electrons. So a line between the 2 CLs, and then you had 12 dots. Everybody good with how to do that? You just draw them side by side. They can be top to bottom, they can be side by side. It doesn't matter as long as you have a single line between the 2. Everybody okay with the 5 that I gave you? All right, those are the easy ones because everything's guaranteed to have a single bond. Everybody has 8 when you draw. Okay? Now we got to mix it up a little bit. Everybody good? All right, so multiple bonds. All right, so multiple bonds include double and triple bonds. You will recognize these because the structures will not all have 8 electrons, and you will have to rearrange the electrons to get 8. All right, the structures will not all have 8. You will have to rearrange the electrons to get 8. And this is where the challenge comes in, particularly after we do this and I mix them all, okay? Because some of you are automatically going to start to shove in double and triple bonds where they don't belong after we do this. Okay, everything we've done to this point, everything had a single bond, and it was very simple. Now we're going to add the challenge. All right, we there? All right, so we're going to start with carbon dioxide is one to illustrate how this works. All right, so CO2. How many electrons does carbon have? Or atoms, let's start there. How many atoms does it have? How many oxygens?
2.
How many electrons does carbon have? 4. And how many oxygen electrons do we have? Okay, so when we multiply, we get 4, we get 12. When we add it up, we get 16. All right, who do we want our central atom to be?
C.
Good. How many O's do we have?
2.
Okay. So when we draw our electrons in, we have 2, 4, 6, 8. Now I've drawn an 8. I have 8 left. Do we want to do 6 and 2 or 4 and 4?
4 and 4.
Okay, 4 and 4. So 2, 2. There's 4, 4, and 4. And those of you who might have thought 6 and 2, I'll come back and do it the 6 and 2 way in a second. All right, so have I drawn in 16 electrons?
Yeah.
I have drawn in all 16. Tell me what the problem is.
They don't all have eight.
They don't all have 8. I've drawn in all 16 electrons we added up. And we don't have 8 on everybody. Who doesn't have 8? The 2 O's. They only have 6. I cannot draw in 2 more electrons. Some of y'all don't write this. Some of y'all on test day, quiz day, whatever, will turn around and go, boop, boop. And I'll go and keep on getting it. Now, what's wrong with this picture?
There's too many electrons.
It has too many electrons. It has 20. You added up and said, how many could I have? 16. I can't do that. Okay? It's not allowed. It'd be really easy if I could just draw in 4 more electrons and give it 8. But that's not how it works. Okay? We're allowed 16 electrons. So this is where the last part of the step 4 yesterday said, rearrange until everybody has 8. So all we can do is move the electrons around the structure until they all have 8. Okay? So the whole point behind covalent bonding is sharing, right? So we know right here that they share their electrons. So if we put some electrons there, the electrons share. Are you with me on that?
Yeah.
So if we put them there, they not only go with C, they also go with O. So C has 8 electrons, but this O only has 6 electrons. So if I put them here in the middle, they will stay with the C who has 8, but they will also go with the O, which has only 6, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 electrons and we're going to move them there. So I'm going to take them off of here and I'm going to put them right there and I'm going to move them. Okay? Now, how many electrons does O have? It has 8. It no longer has 6. It has 8 electrons. It has 2, 4, 6, 8. How many does C have? 2, 4, 6, 8. I gave it a double bond, so it now has 8 electrons also. It kept its 8, but it helped O have 8. Now, this O has how many? It has 6 electrons. So we're going to help it out. C has how many? It has 8 because it has 2, 4, 6, 8. So again, we're going to share some electrons. The only place it can share is where? In the middle between the C and the O where the lines are. It can't share anyplace else. So C is going to take these 2 electrons right here and move them right there. So we're going to erase them from there and we're going to put them there. Now, it also has 8. Now, do I still have 16 total electrons?
Yeah.
Yes. Does each element have 8? Yes. Now, what if you were the person who said, when I drew these in a minute ago, remember when I said you want to do 4 and 4 or 6 and 2? What if you were the person who said, let's do 6 and 2, Miss Wall? You would have had this. Do I have 16 drawn in? Yeah. Does everybody have 8? No. This one has 8. This one has 8. This one has how many? 4. So what do we have to do here? Okay. So this one has 4. So again, we're going to share the electrons. So if I take these two off and I put them in the middle here, I helped O and it's up to 6, but it doesn't have 8 yet.
No.
No, I'm close. But I need one more set of electrons to get to 8, right? So how can I get him to 8?
You raise the top two.
I'm going to take the top set and I'm going to put it there also.
What?
Okay? So now this one has how many? 2, 4, 6, 8. C has 2, 4, 6, 8. And O has 2, 4, 6, 8. Do I still have 8 or 16 in the whole structure?
Yeah.
Now, this has a name. You need to write it down. They're called resonance forms.
It's okay if we only wrote one of those examples.
I would write both and put resonance forms there. You are going to see that word again. All right, resonance forms. Both of those would be correct. On a quiz, if I give you something like this, I would take both of those answers because both are correct. Some of you will draw it the way I have it on the left. Some of you will draw it the way I have it on the right. You've met both rules. You have the same 16 electrons. Everybody has 8. I would not penalize either person for drawing that. Both would be correct. Everybody okay with that? We're going to do another example. You okay, Janai? Still tired? It's terrible to be that young and that tired. What time did you go to bed last night?
Oh,
Early.
my cheekbones hurt.
Did somebody hit you?
No.
Do you have wisdom teeth coming in? I don't know. I'm just guessing. You didn't get hit. I got no other explanation. You got a sinus infection?
No, I can reach it.
I don't have any explanation. That's why I guessed wisdom tooth. All right. So let's say that we have NO3 with a -1. All right. First of all, what's this called? Has a name.
Iron.
Okay, it's ion. What do we put in front of it?
Polyatomic.
Okay. This is called a polyatomic ion. Okay. It's just a group of atoms with a common charge. Now, there's nothing new about this because we've been using them for weeks. All that's new is what we're going to do with this. And you already know what it means. What's it mean? Jocelyn, what's it mean? Yes, you do. Zaya, what's it mean? What's that -1 mean? You remember?
You gain the electron.
Yes. All right, you gained an electron. All right, so let's add up our electrons. All right, how many N's do we have, Zaria? How many O's do we have, Xavier? All right, how many outer shell electrons do we have for nitrogen, Serenity? Yep. How many for oxygen, Victor?
6.
Okay, so 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 6 is 18. We get 23. Who was it that asked me, can we have an outer or number that was odd? Janai. Okay, so we got an odd number. All right, and I just told you earlier, will we ever have an odd number?
No.
No. So if you get an odd number, this should tell you you've got something weird going on. Okay? Yes, you can have odd numbers, but in your first year class in high school, are you going to get an odd number? Not in our class. Okay? If you have a college class, yes, you can have an odd number. In an AP class, yes, you can have an odd number. Our class, no. So if you gained 1 electron,
Add it.
What are you gonna do?
Add one.
You're gonna add 1. Okay? If you had a plus something up there, that would mean what happened? You would have lost something and you would subtract. That's correct, Zara. Good job. All right, so 23 plus 1 means what? You have 24 electrons. Okay? Everybody with us on that? All right, who's my central atom, Elena? What? N. Okay, so N's our central atom. How many O's are we drawing around it, Princess? What? 3? Okay. All right. So 24 electrons. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. All right, so I drew in 24 electrons. Is everybody happy?
Yeah.
Because this is what I get all the time on quiz. I get it all the time.
Is this the next quiz?
Your next quiz will have this geometry and polarity on it. You will not see it, let's say Tuesday, it'll be Thursday. All right, so is it correct?
Yes.
I need a whole bunch of no's
Never mind.
Oh.
because everybody does not have 8. Who does not have 8? N. Okay? Even though I will get this answer probably not 75% of the time, 25% of the time, because 75% of you will correct it. 25% of you will leave it blank. Leave that right there. And will not fix the N. Okay? You have to fix N because it only has how many electrons on it? It only has 6. It's got to have 8. So what are you going to do to help N?
Erase one of the 2 dots on the O's and put a line.
It doesn't matter which of the O's. Pick one. They're all the same. Okay? I'll just take this one. And I'm going to move their dots down here. Okay? Now everybody has 8. Now, last step with a polyatomic ion. You have to let people know it's a polyatomic ion. So it gets brackets and its oxidation number right there. Okay? Polyatomic ions get brackets. They have to know that you have to show people it's a polyatomic ion. Okay? So you put brackets and then the oxidation number out to the side.
Better put that in the recycling bowl.
I'm going to set it on my desk right now. I will recycle it when I go that way. Now, you think you can try a couple?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can take it out.
You don't need a nap. It's not like you're going to die if you don't have a nap. Let me see.
Not yet, anyway.
I hope not.
It's crazy if I died. So. She gonna go.
Let's do. Some of those have double bonds, some of them have triple bonds. I did not put any single bonds, strictly single bonds in there. I've not mixed up single, double, and triple. So everything should have at least a double or a triple.
What is that?
The next batch will be mixed. There you go, just for you.
Thank you
Recycle.
so very much. Did we already do CF or we do CF?
Say what now?
Nothing, I'm just. How do you know which one's
In which one?
CF?
It's like Cl2. They're just side by side. There's only 2 atoms.
Oh, yeah.
Just put them side by side.
Oh.
Right? Just side by side. See? No, side by side. Which one's I? I said, what's wrong? Okay. You just second? What's wrong with you, Randy? The first one, just trustee and side by side.
I don't know.
Have you added the electrons?
Already.
Say what?
This is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous already. You haven't done anything yet.
I'm doing this right. Like,
You only got 8 in there. You're
I
supposed to have
had
10.
one, but 10, 4, 8, 2, that's not.
Mhm.
Okay. I was ready to get it set.
Yep, you got it drawn right.
Thank you.
It's a polyatomic ladder.
Yeah, I didn't give you any polyatomic ions right now. Everything's a compound.
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. What you got? Okay, so those are there, and that's there, these two are stretched out. Then yes. Do me a favor on quiz, write with a pencil. Who else has a question? Good. Good. Do you want, what the papers you're going to miss tomorrow while you're on a field trip? All right, let me go see if I can make a copy of this one for you. Because I know I have the other one. But the geometries will be easier if you have this. And I'll make the other copies today. Dirk. Do you know if anybody else from chemistry is going besides you? It's just you? Okay. You won't be here tomorrow? Where you gonna be? Oh. Oh, it's nothing major.
I told you that last week.
You did?
Yeah.
That's the geometry paper we'll use in class and homework paper. Okay. You gonna be out more than just tomorrow? Okay, we'll use that to get started and then the rest of it will be uploaded on the website. All right, have we had time? Need more time? Where are we at?
I need,
Go up.
I just need a minute.
H can never be. I
So,
will tell you, if you have carbon will always be central, but I don't usually teach that because most people don't remember. But in any compound, you have carbon. Carbon's always the sunflower.
So what do we do for that?
For which one?
See, do I just put H and N?
Wait, that's all.
Yeah.
Like this.
Very good. Yeah.
I'm at 16.
Put them on the SE. Yeah, there's only 4 on C. Here's your SF8. Yep. Yep. Yes, sir. Oh, we had more assigned, but you're only putting 4 electrons. What was 10? You're supposed to have 8 on C and 8 on N. You won't have 8 on H. H will only have that single line and that's it. Yeah, you won't have 8 on the H. Yeah, H will never have 8. What's wrong with HCN? You got the others? You're thinking, okay, I can tell. Well, where are you gonna put your dots? It can't go on H, so where are you gonna put the rest of them? Guys, when y'all get to HCN, no, you can't have 4 lines. You cannot have more than 3 lines. When you guys get to number, or the last one, HCN, can y'all have 4 lines? No. H can only have how many lines? 1. So all the dots and lines have to be between which 2 letters?
So
C and
why can't
N.
I have 4 lines between N and C?
Huh?
So why can't I have 4 lines between N and C?
They don't exist that way.
That's not.
Besides that, if you put 4 lines on the C and the N, how many electrons do you have on C?
8?
You got 1 on C and H. Then you got 4 on C,
Oh.
so C has how many electrons?
Oh, so I just put 2 dots on N.
Yes.
I didn't even look at that. That's right.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
2, 4, okay. I was close. Kind of well. I did my best.
All right, Zion, you got CO drawn? No? You didn't do it. How about Allie, you got CO drawn?
Yes.
Go draw CO on the board. Who did I call on last time to draw? You didn't draw last time? Go draw SO3.
Ah,
Oh, you want to do HCN? Touch the board, genius.
oh. Can I just do out?
You can
What
do
am
a
I
new
doing,
page
okay?
if you want. You want to draw which one? That's fine. Which one do you want to do? SO3. All right.
You can have 3 lines, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I need a SEO2. Who wants to do SEO2? All right. Did you draw last time?
Right.
No, I don't want you to. I want somebody who didn't go up last time to draw. I'll do it. 3 of you didn't go up last time? Okay. All right, questions about CO? So we got 3 lines, 2 dots on C, 2 dots on O. Anybody have a question? Okay? So Randy's gonna draw SO3. Good. Now her double bond can be anywhere. So if your double bond is on the right, or it's on the bottom, or you put the O on the top, as long as you have one double bond and two single bonds, you're fine. And on your double bond, you can only have 4 dots.
Oh, I hate it when I do that.
Good. All right, and same thing with that double bond. You can have it on the other side. The double bond, though, should only have 4 dots on it.
HCM is the one that I struggle with.
Okay, so y'all have 10 electrons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, slow down for a second there, Janai. All right, so you got C in the middle. All right, draw your line for the HCM. So when Janai drew in that line, she can't put any more electrons on the H. You good with that?
Yes.
So she drew 2 electrons between carbon and nitrogen. Okay? She drew 2 dots on N. Draw it the way you started it. Draw all the 10 in before you double bond it. Do it from the beginning, since they're all having a hard time. We'll let you teach. That's 8. Draw 2 more. All right, so there's the 10. 4 on C, and then 2 more on N. Everybody good with 10 drawn in? All right, now she's going to move them. Okay, move 2 more. See how she did it? Yes, she can do that.
Oh, 2, 4, 6. Okay, I get it.
Everybody see what she did?
Yes.
Okay, she put all 8 on C. She put the 2 extras on N, and then she moved them. The problem some of you are having mentally is you're already trying to draw in double and triple bonds. Don't try to draw in those bonds from the beginning. Okay, draw in the dots first. That's the problem some of you will have with your homework tonight, is you will try to put in double and triple bonds where they don't belong. Draw in the electrons first, then go back and figure out if they need double or triple bonds. Now, your homework tonight is 14 Lewis structures. Now, every year, I have people who do no homework with this assignment. And then we tell geometries with these 14 structures. And then people sit here because they have no homework. If you don't do this assignment tonight, tomorrow when I say, go back and tell me the geometries, if yours is blank, do you have anything to find the geometry of?
No.
No. So when you come in the next day and I ask you to do a quiz, invariably your quiz grade is lower than everybody else's because you couldn't practice the geometries. We're going to use the same 14 structures to practice polarity. If you don't have any structures, can you practice determining the polarity? No. Okay? Am I going to give you time to draw them before you can practice? No, I'm not. Do your homework tonight so you have something to practice.
So we don't have a quiz tomorrow?
You do not have a quiz tomorrow. Your quiz will be on, I put the papers on her desk. Your quiz will be on Thursday. Now, tomorrow you will have to memorize the geometries that go with the geometries we're doing tomorrow, and you will have to know them by Thursday. I am aware it's the next day.